What is up, guys, and welcome back to our Boston Bruins franchise mode series. We are here at free agency, and a big decision to make here. And sort of what I'm thinking is, the best player available in free agency is Dougie Hamilton, and we just signed Marc-Edouard Vlasic to a $6 million 1-year deal. And the thing with him is he might regress a little bit. He's 34, 35, something like that, so he might regress down to an 86. And if we were able to trade away him and his contract, we'd be able to have the cap space to sign Dougie Hamilton. And if you look at Dougie Hamilton, 28 years old, only 89 overall, low 90s offensive stats, high 80s defensive stats, 5-star skating. The only bad thing about him is his physical category, only 3.5 stars. Looking at his stats, been putting up high 40s, yeah, even sometimes got in the 50. In the first year of the simulation, he got 61 points. So pretty good point production from him. The only thing about trying to go after Dougie Hamilton is he's right-handed. And currently on the right side we have Honka, McAvoy, and Carlo. Now McAvoy and Carlo aren't progressing like we expected them to. So that kind of sucks. But if we were to trade away Vlasic and try to get Hamilton, we would end up with only Brodin as a left-hander. And we would have Honka, Hamilton, McAvoy, and Carlo as all right-handers. So we'd have to throw somebody on their offhand. And that would kind of suck a little bit, but if you look at getting Dougie Hamilton versus not, I think it would be a bit of an upgrade, especially in the long term. Just the age difference between Hamilton and Vlasic is pretty crazy, so that's sort of what I'm thinking there. And if I can't get a deal that I like for Vlasic, I'll just stick with him for this season and just go with it. I went through and looked at what some teams are, or some potential returns we could get for Vlasic, and I got two teams in mind. Let me just get Vlasic real quick. So here's a look at Vlasic, 88 overall, 34 years old, $6 million 1-year deal. Looking at his attributes, more of a defensive defenseman, low 90s in defense stats, mid 80s in the offense, 4-star skating, only a 3-star physical. So Dougie Hamilton's got him beat in the skating and the physical and all the offensive categories. He's only just a few points worse defensively. And of course, Vlasic had just a huge year last year for us with plus 43 and 21 points. So he was really good, but I'm just scared of him regressing a little bit. And then it'd be tough to trade him at the deadline because nobody wants his contract. But I don't know how much I'm overreacting to that. But if we just take out Vlasic, we would have Honka and Brodin as our top pair, McAvoy, Carlo as our middle pair, and then Liljegren. And we would need somebody else to fill out the top 6. But if we trade away Vlasic and then sign Hamilton, it would probably be Brodin and either Honka or Hamilton on the top line, and then McAvoy, Hamilton on the second, and then Carlo, Liljegren on the third. We'd have 5 right-handed defensemen, and Brodin would be the only left-hander. But like I've said in the series before, I don't really know how much stock EA puts into the handedness when it comes to the simulation. But, you just never know. I just don't know. So, as Vlasic, we'll get him, throw him in this trade. As the menus, press B, not A. That was stupid. Okay. These menus are so slow. Alright, so the first team I'm looking at is the Colorado Avalanche. And I'm looking at getting, okay, if we can sort this by trade value, that'd be great. Looking at getting Guy Vigier, maybe that's how you say it, I don't know. But that's the guy I'm looking at to get in return from Colorado. 75 overall, medium elite, 19-year-old, defensive defenseman. He is right-handed too, which kind of sucks, but once again, I have no idea about the handedness. I'm willing to just take a shot with it, but he's already low 80s defensively and high 70s offensively as a 75 overall. He was the 3rd overall pick 2020. He has 3 years of his rookie deal left, so that would be really good for us to have a contract like that. And you can see how off the trade values are there. I'm looking at other players I can get back in return. We can try to get a center, a younger center, and I don't know his first name, Adam Ruzicka here. The thing about him, he's still got 1 year left on his rookie deal, and he could probably be like a 3rd line center for us. I really don't know about our center situation because we have Getzlaff and Bergeron, who are both really old guys, but they're still 88 and 86 overall. So they could easily be our top 2 centers. So if you bring somebody in, like a prospect, we don't want to play him like on the 4th line and him not grow any. At the same time, we want to get Winberg potentially 2nd line minutes. So we might end up in a situation where we move one of those players to the wing. Probably Winberg, if anybody, put him on the 2nd line wing. But at the same time, our top 6 wingers are really good. So it's just a tough situation all around for our roster, but I think we'll figure it out. The only thing about Rutsika is he's got those low 80s offensive stats. A really good shot and pretty good defense, 5-star skating. So he's a pretty good player overall. Also look at a guy like JT Compher here from, still looking at Colorado. He's got low 80s offense though. 4.5-star shot, mid 80s defense, 5-star skating, 4-star physical. Decent two-way forward. He would probably be our long-term 3rd line center. He's 3rd checking line, so he could easily play that. He could easily play the 4th line and then give him penalty kill minutes as well. So that's what we're looking at from Colorado. The other team that I'm looking at getting a good deal done is with the Oilers. And no, it's not for Connor McDavid. It is for Rasmus Dahlin. Just going to throw him in here. And look at the trade value. Still really off. But looking at his stats, he is listed as a two-way defender, but he has really low 70s in the offense. Really hard shot, but he's 4.5-star defense already. 4.5-star skating. Only 2.5-star physical, but he looks to be a really good skater, really good defensively. I mean, if you look at his stars on the far left, bottom left, I mean, half-star senses, but 4.5-star defense. So he'd be definitely be a defensive defenseman. He is left-handed, which gives him a little bit of an advantage over VGA in terms of looking at who to bring in. And then also in this deal, to even out the trade values a little bit, they have plenty of options here. I could look at somebody like, I don't know his first name, Yuri Ulanov, I don't know. But he's a two-way defender, left-handed, low elite, age 19, 77 overall. He's more balanced, and he's also left-handed, which is good to bring in another left-hander, looking at our roster currently. 14th overall pick from a couple of seasons ago. Pretty much mid-80s across the board. So he would be a more well-rounded guy, still on a rookie deal. So we could also look at bringing in Stan Gerard, another center prospect. He's got high 70s offense already, so he'd be, yeah, he's a playmaker. Mid 70s defensive awareness and another defensive stats. So he's a pretty well-rounded guy as well. He would be more of a long-term project. There's also a few options down here, and Andreychuk, Brandstrom, Hagelin, Turikov. Any of those guys we could throw into this deal and try to even it out. I feel like there was somebody else I wanted to look at, but I completely forgot who. There was some player somewhere. He was a center, I think. And he had he was low 80s overall, and he had high 70s offensive stats. It was Vesalainen. I forget what team Vesalainen was on. But the only problem with him was he was on a $2 million contract, so we'd have to trade away more money in order to try to get this trade to go through and still try to sign Dougie Hamilton. So if we tried to trade away more money, it'd be tough to do. We'd have to look at a guy like DeBrusk, who I don't really want to trade away just yet. Neither of McAvoy or Carlo I'd want to trade away either. So it'd be tough to get that to go through and get the money we need. So I'm not so sure about that. But I really liked Vesalainen's stats. If he ends up in free agency after this season, it was on the last year of his deal. So if he ended up in free agency for some reason, I would definitely try to sign him. And if we end up sucking pretty bad in one of these next couple of years, we can get rid of Rask. I signed him to $8 million for 3 years. But he's already 34, and he's already regressed last season. He's probably going to regress some this season as well. So that's another option. So let's go ahead and get this trade done, because I am just blabbering on. 9 minutes into this video, I haven't done anything yet. So it's just a question of Dahlin or VGA. Dahlin would be a pretty much just a really younger version of Vlasic. He would leave us with about $7.8 million in salary cap. And 2 years left at that contract versus VGA. I should have decided who I wanted to trade for before I started making this video. But that's okay. You guys are already here. Wow, he is mad. Matt Nieto is not happy. Oh, shit. Look at how red his morale is. My God. I don't think I've ever seen a morale that bad. Vigier. So Vigier is listed as a defensive defenseman, but he's more well-rounded. But he is right-handed. And his contract, 3 years on the rookie deal. That is better than Dahlin. But I'm thinking about going for Dahlin. Dahlin brings in another left-handed guy. More the defensive defenseman. We would have Hamilton and Honka are offensive-minded. Berdeen's two-way. McAvoy's a little bit offensive. Carlo's defensive. Liljegren's offensive. So we're missing another shutdown guy outside of Brandon Carlo. So we're going to try to get Dahlin here. And we'll see what it would take to get this trade. We'll throw in Ulanov and Gerard. See what that trade value looks like. Looks like it'd be pretty even, but it's not going to go through. Woefully insufficient. So, they do want to trade their first round pick this season. That'd be nice to get back another top pick for this year. So I just want to see what this trade value looks like. That's definitely not going to go through. Definitely not going to go through. Let's see if they want our picks. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine that they would. Don't want to trade Bernier. Don't want to trade any of these guys, I don't think. Maybe we could look to trade a guy like Lundmark, who turned out to be not the best first-round pick. Still got a long ways to go. Don't want to trade Nakamura. We just drafted him, but Lundmark, I could get rid of him, and I would not be too upset. Let's see what that goes through. See if that goes through. It does. Okay, so we traded Vlasic and Lundmark, our first-round pick from a couple seasons ago, for Rasmus Dahlin and the Edmonton Oilers' first-round pick from this season. So Dahlin's like a much younger version of Vlasic, not as good just yet. And then we got a first-round pick as well. So now let's go to free agents and see if we can pick up Dougie Hamilton. That trade went through too easy, so I probably could have got more in return, but it's too late now. Can't go back and redo it. So we'll go for that 3 years that he's asking for. We'll crank it up to 7.25 and see if that will go through. Then I'm going to take a look and see if we have any other glaring needs on our roster. I don't think we do. We just need another defenseman. And if we don't get Dougie Hamilton, we can look to sign a guy in the lower 80s. Put him on the third pairing with Liljegren. Probably a left-handed shutdown kind of guy. We do still need to address long-term center. But we can always put that off, at least for this season, because we should be fine for now. We do have a couple prospects down here, but nobody that's going to really jump up and fill a top-line role. So looking at our forwards, we could use a couple of depth guys. Our top line's looking like Nicky, Pasternak, and Getzlaff. Our second line's looking like Marchand, Ho-Sang. It'd be nice if Fiala could take face-offs. Can he? 68. Getzlaff. Yeah, okay. So our second line's looking like Marchand, Ho-Sang, Winberg. And our third line, Fiala, Bergeron, DeBrusque. And then our fourth line's kind of a question mark right now. I mean, JFK will be pretty good there. If Victor Frolov can grow a little bit, he might be able to play on the fourth line. Heinz has the offense, but his defense is terrible. Heinen, he's average all around. Olsen, 90 offensive awareness is pretty good. Maybe if he grew some, he could play that, but we'll look to get a couple of fourth-line guys in free agency maybe. But other than that, our top nine's pretty much set. Defensively, yeah, all we need is another guy to play right now. And then Dahlin we can put in the AHL. And he can grow some and he can play next season. Actually, if we are not able to sign Dougie Hamilton, Dahlin could just play in the NHL. He's probably going to grow a couple overall. He's a left-handed shutdown guy that can play alongside Liljegren. I'd be fine with that, actually. So, if we don't get Dougie Hamilton, we might just try to sign some depth forwards and then call it an off-season. I wouldn't be too upset with that. Goaltending, we're locked in with Rask and Bernier. I'm fine with that. Okay, so we'll see if Dougie Hamilton signs. We did sign a couple, or try to sign a couple of prospect type guys. I'm going to go through and look at those really quick. Approached. So here are the guys we sent offers to. We got Carl Neal, high AHL top 2 defenseman, just filling an AHL guy there. Same thing with Max Lahoy. Max. And then Ty Ronning. He's got insane passing as a sniper. That doesn't make any sense, but he's a high AHL potential guy. And then UC Latikainen, another AHL defensive prospect. He was a first-round pick from 2 seasons ago. Flames let him go. And then Tyler Picard, second-round pick from 2 seasons ago. Just AHL level players with decent potential. Trying to sign them and fill out the AHL squad. So let's see if these guys sign with us. And the sucky thing about the situation we're in is, like, Bergeron's taken up quite a bit of cap room, and he's really old. So Picard went to the Habs. Latikainen came to us. Carl Neal's an RFA. Max went to the Senators. And Ronning went to the Penguins. So you only got one of those guys. And, I mean, you could easily get all those guys if you wanted. All you'd have to do is just crank their deals up quite a bit. Crank the money up quite a bit, and they would easily just pick you over everyone else. But that's a little bit unrealistic, so I wanted to give other teams chances to sign those players. I don't want to take all the guys that fall to free agency, because the game, for some reason, teams don't sign their top-end prospects occasionally. So, yeah, it'd make it less fun if I were to just go ahead and pick all those players up. So we'll try to get Benson here. He looks to be a good AHL player with decent potential and age combination. Anyone else? Just sign. No, I was gonna say we can just sign Trampkin, but then I realized he wants $3 million. Oh, thank you. Anyone else? We can just sign. Try to sign Chistov. Why not? Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? We'll go back to the high AHL potentials. See if there's anybody there. Zhukanov. We will give him an offer. Sure. And then Estefan. We'll give him an offer as well. Chartier. Sure. Anybody else? Nope. So let's go to the defenseman. See if there's anybody there. Oh man, this takes forever. Yeah, okay. I'll just do this. Just go over to defenseman and then get there a whole lot quicker. Yeah. Anybody here? We can sign C. Benaler. Sure. Anyone else? Not really. But we'll go ahead and send this guy an offer as well. No. Ruop. Okay. That's it. So, just getting some next tier prospects that we can just throw in the AHL and see if they can grow any. And our cap space is looking like 6.91 million. So I might need to trade away just a little bit of salary. Hello, chair. How you doing? We might need to trade just a little bit of salary. Panthers. Riley Smith is fed up. Star player Riley Smith is fed up with the team and demanded to be traded. Kalle Yarncroke is one to be traded away from the Canadians. Let's just go take a look at those guys really quick. I think it's funny how the game worded those things. Start with the Panthers. Riley Smith. Star player Riley Smith has 0 trade value, it looks like. Wow, he's way down here. Star player, yeah. Star player at 78 overall. Yeah, $5 million for 1 season. I don't care how bad your morale is. No, thank you. Let's go check out Yarncroke from the Habs. See if we can get one over on them. Yarncroke. They're looking to trade Postma. So it looks like the Habs might be back next season to a competitive level. Yarncroak, 79 overall. Second line forward role. Only $2 million. That wouldn't be too bad. But we don't really have a spot for him, so no thanks. Alright, so we could try to free up just a couple of $100,000 in cap space, and that would be fantastic. Is there anybody that we can look to trade? Not really. Might look to trade Bernier, and then just have our backup goalie be either Vladar or Werner. Bernier, what do we have him on a deal for? 1.5. That would open up the cap we need, probably. So let's just see if a team wants Bernier. He could be the Habs backup. Let's see. They do want to trade this McIntyre guy. I'm not so sure about that, though. Draft picks, if we can just get a third for Bernier, that'd be pretty good. Looks like we can get more than a third. Let's try to get a third, a fourth, and a fifth. Because why not? Okay, so we traded Bernier for a third, a fourth, and a fifth. And now we should have the cap space to be able to sign Dougie Hamilton. 8.4 million. So yeah, we'll have more than enough space to sign Dougie Hamilton now. And that also frees up a spot for one of our goaltending prospects to play a more elevated role. Let's see if we get Dougie Hamilton. And we do. Thank God. Carl Neal. Yep, I know you're an RFA. Alright, so Dougie Hamilton's on the team, boys. He has come back to Boston. He didn't want to play here. That's why we traded him, but now he does. Because he picked us in free agency, so. Let's see what our... Oh my god, I forgot I signed so many players. So, all but a couple signed with us that time. And... let's just see how our guys progress this offseason. Let's see if we have anything that stands out to the point that we might need to make another trade. And yeah, if we don't have to make any moves or anything, we'll call it a trade. We'll call it a video after that. If we do need to make some moves, I'll kind of show you guys what I'm thinking, and hopefully you guys can give some feedback on that. See what you think as well. So Dougie Hamilton, Julius Honka, and Jonas Brodin are our top 3 defensemen. And however we put those guys in our lineup, I'm not quite sure yet. We could really do any combination of the 3. We could do Hamilton, Honka on the top line. One of them be on their offhand. Probably Hamilton because he's more offensive-minded. Or we could do Brodin and Honka, or we could do Brodin and Hamilton. The only thing about playing Honka and Hamilton together is they're both pretty offensive-minded players, so that might not be the best option. But we'll go through that, and we'll figure that out in the next video. I don't want to make any lineup decisions in this video. Any final lineup decisions in this video. So we're looking at the progressions of our young guys and then the regressions of our older guys. So Getzlaf, Bergeron, and Rask. So Bergeron might end up being our third line center. When I was going through our projected lines, I put him there. He might fall down below the level of Winberg, and we want to give Winberg some more NHL time. Hopefully he can develop a little bit and become like our long-term second. Oh, that burp hit me at the perfect time. Our long-term second line center. That's what I was about to say. So let's just take a look at our roster. So after we lost, I'll get to that in a second. All right, so it's looking like Getzlaf's an 86, Bergeron's an 86, Winberg's an 85. Carlo and McAvoy didn't go anywhere. That kind of sucks. Nikki, get your ass up here, bud. What are you doing down there? Put Chartier back. I forgot to look at like fourth line guys, but we only have 1 million in cap space, so we could only sign like one guy maybe. Okay. Fiala's up to an 86 and Hosang's down to an 86. I don't know what happened with those two guys. I don't know what happened with Hosang, I should say. I don't know why he dropped down a little bit. Is that morale based? Maybe. Not sure. Not sure. Okay. So, interesting spot we're in here. Nobody really grew from all of our young guys. Nicky's up to a 90. That's the only thing, and he's still on that a fantastic entry-level deal. Damn, man. Olsen, can you play in the NHL? I don't think so. So we're going to have to do something in terms of getting a fourth line, because right now it's looking pretty weak. But our top nine's fine. Just sucks that our first line center is going to be only an 86. Second line 86, third line 85. I don't know. Interesting spot we're in there from the forwards. Defensively, okay, let's just go ahead and send these two guys down. We're looking at Hamilton and Honka are both 89 overalls. They're both pretty good defensively, though, so I wouldn't be too opposed with keeping them on the same pairing. And then Brodin and McAvoy, Carlo, Liljegren, and Dollins. We might send, actually, Liljegren back down. He's listed as a depth defenseman, whereas Dollins listed as a top 6 defenseman. Another thing about Dollins, he's not going to bring anything at all offensively. Liljegren's the exact opposite, though. He's going to bring a lot offensively, and he's going to be decent defensively. So, interesting choice we're going to have to make here between these two guys. And they're both on one-way deals, so that's kind of annoying in that we can't really bring them up and down depending on who's progressing better during the season. So we have to pick one and stick with him, more than likely. Holy shit. Dollins 6'3", 180. Liljegren's 5'11", 204. Liljegren's 20 pounds heavier and 4 inches shorter. Little chubby guy. Goaltending, we got Rask at 88 and then Werner at 79. So our team's not looking the best. And I said after the last video, if we didn't win that season, I'd probably rebuild. And I think we're in an unfortunate spot where we're just tweeners every single year. Like, we're good enough to make the playoffs and then lose in the first or second round, but we're not good enough that we're competing for cups, but we're not bad enough that we're getting great assets from the draft. So, I mean, maybe I put us in a pretty bad spot, but I'm willing to say that after this season, if we lose in the first or second round, I will tear this shit down. I said it plenty of times in the past, but in year 6, if we do not at least make the conference finals, after only one season of ever making the conference finals, I believe. Do we make a cup final? I don't know, but we haven't got a cup, and we've been decent competitors, but we haven't been Stanley Cup final caliber just yet. And if we don't make it this season, I'm just gonna tear it down. We're gonna be shit the next couple seasons, but I'm just tired of being mediocre. So we'll figure out what to do in terms of signing some fourth line guys. We'll figure out what to do with our defensemen. I'll do that between videos. So, as always, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, leave some comments, share this video, do all that kind of stuff. Hopefully, in the next video, we can sim up to the trade deadline or the All-Star break and just see where we are. So that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.